2020 review. A little late. All right, so yeah, Kobe, Pop Smoke, MF Doom, COVID, Dunks Dior, and the Fear of God. Last year, 2020. Honestly, this is like the bonus tracks of 2020. Beyond what we lost, our time, our faith in social norms, our heroes, both those who are famous and those that we may never know. Everything's crazy. Fashion is like a back burner issue, and it should have been. It really should have been. It wasn't nearly as serious, and honestly, it gave us a bit of time to reflect on what the hell is important, or at least that's what I thought. I mean, it definitely wasn't sneakers and fits for the most part. That's not really that important, but here I am, breaking down 2020. Casually, I guess. I'm your boy, Reggie Casual. Let's get it. All right, so let's start off with something simple. Bankruptcies, right? Bankruptcies. We had at the end of 2019, we had Forever 21, we had Barney's New York, which set off a firestorm because in 2020 we had JCPenney's, Brooks Brothers, Neiman Marcus, J. Crew, Topshop, Lord & Taylor, True Religion, all of those. They filed for either bankruptcy or bankruptcy protection. We had Kobe passed, tragically, early last year. Resellers predictably tried to profit off of Kobe's death, and that seemed like the straw that broke the camel's back for a great many in the fashion community. Then you had Pop Smoke, who was tragically murdered on his way to even bigger stardom, introducing an entire generation of young people to actually wearing Dior, even though Dior was already big time before Pop Smoke, but all due respect. We had legendary Japanese designer Takada Kenzo. He passed, leaving behind a legacy that will be remembered for a very long time. MF Doom, we didn't even know MF Doom was going until late last year. I mean, our childhood is in tatters right now, those of us who liked MF Doom. And Pierre Cardin, right before the end of this year, passed at 98, a man who redefined fashion by transforming elite fashion into off-the-rack, ready-to-wear styles for the general public. And that's just the surface. Plenty of other brands and individuals were lost in 2020. But I thought before we were gonna get some silver lining, right? I was gonna mention how Adidas Basketball grew and signed Jerry Lorenzo to a deal starting Fear of God Athletics. The Gap picked up Kanye and put Mobalola Nkulesi on. Thebe Magugu became a force, and justly so. Kim Jones continued to define an era of luxury at Dior. Matthew M. Williams becoming a star with his upgrade to Givenchy, and Louis Vuitton got injected with some of Nigo's Human Made, courtesy of Virgil. Those are all stories. Verdi getting bigger. Star continuing to rise, and his crew out here in Japan. I could talk about how Nike probably won 2020 with Dior, Travis Scott, Ambush, SB Dunk shenanigans, even though most of us didn't really even care about that stuff. Uniqlo being the most consistent retailer because the Japanese government refused to shut things down, even though they're paying dearly for that now. Uniqlo Plus J was a hit, flew off the shelves, even though it restocked. I can tell you another thing in Japan, neighborhood Japan, got an unnecessary facelift that nobody really was asking for. Undercover did kill it with Falling Man as expected. Chitose Abe turned Sacai into a globally recognized label to the point where she was running AW 2020 Jean-Paul Gaultier. I love Chitose Abe, you guys know that. I love Sacai, right? If I had to pick a favorite brand, it would be Sacai, hands down. I could tell you all of that. I could tell you in terms of style, it wasn't necessarily stagnant, despite people having to stay at home all the damn time. Yeah, Von Dutch sightings popping up everywhere. Cats screaming at me saying brands in the same vein like Ed Hardy, which we just did an episode on, are coming back. Ed Hardy's coming back. Reggie, you don't know what's happening in the United States. Apparently, I don't know what's happening because I don't know what celebrities are wearing. To which I respond, that's an effing compliment, bro. I actually don't give a rat's shitty what celebrities are wearing. And honestly, at this point, I don't think the community cares either. Most of us, at least. Many of us are beginning to realize how ridiculous some of these people are, and half the time, they're playing dress up. I had a whole thing planned out for you to tell you about all of the things that happened in fashion, and it just doesn't seem as important. Because many of us succumb to the idea that being contentious and being controversial is more desirable. Interrupting the flow of not normalcy, I shouldn't say that, but interrupting the flow of civility is more desirable. Because if there is nobody civil, if there's no civility, then you're justified in your anger. So what did 2020 teach us really? Well, it taught us that many of us can work from home. Our best forms of entertainment come from either content creators or ourselves. We make us laugh. Brands like New Balance, Asics, and Carhartt, Capital, they deserve our attention. And finally, we should have noticed that making more stuff than paying for more stuff is actually a good thing. 2020 should have been a review of ourselves and how we operate rather than just how we present ourselves. Through all the hardships, we found ways to make it work. We found ways to laugh. We found ways to learn. And we found out what we should be fighting for. At least that's what I thought. I thought 2020 was the year we all grew up collectively. I thought 2020 was the year that many of us would look at the sneakers app and completely skip drops and say, F it, I don't care. I thought 2020 was the year that we could celebrate individuals that give us motivation. People like Devin on Deck, who made a career out of Reels and TikTok and social media. Far be it for me to say, I'm proud of my YouTube brethren out there who started their own labels, Ronning, Sanj, Keezy, Ken, Frugal, and yes, even that dude Richie, who is that type of dude to fill in the blank. These individuals taking the idea of fashion YouTuber to creative agency, all on their own, and no matter how you think about their work, how you feel about their work, they're actually doing it. And they have the support to continue to improve upon that work, because if 2020 has taught you anything, if you are a naysayer, then you're just being a hater and you're not doing anything. Because if you're doing something, you're bound to get better. I can tell you all about that. I could say that we reflected on our faults, but I don't believe that anymore. I could say that we're ready to move forward, but I don't believe that anymore. I'm an American, proud to be an American. And as a proud American, I can say that what I've seen over the last few days, fashion is just an afterthought. And it baffles me now, more than ever, how something like a video on YouTube can twist the panties of weak, whining, immature crybabies. And I'm through with it. Now, I'm not done with YouTube, of course. I'm through with trying to appease everyone. And I love fashion. My career is in fashion, much to the chagrin of people who don't want that to be for some reason. A shared interest, something that we all like. If you're watching this channel right now, we all enjoy fashion. Let that be the first seed that is planted to help us make a more communicative, fruitful, and respectful conversation. Let that plant the seed. Something as simple as that. Our shared interest. So you ask me, or if you ask me, do I see the light at the end of the tunnel? I could say yes, but hot damn, is it a long tunnel. So let me say at the end of this, I hope for the best, but I expect the worst. But we still got work to do here, right here on The Casual. I will continue to speak and tell you guys about the things that I feel are important, we feel are important, whether it's the fashion industry, whether it's culture, it's business, for that next step. Because that's what's important. Getting you to a point where you feel savvy enough to do what I'm doing or do whatever you want to do. I can do that with no fear. And if that's not what you want, you are free to mosey on your way, go somewhere else, have a nice day. Hopefully you do something. I wish the best for you. But if you want to stay here, I really appreciate that. So there you go. As always, keep it locked right here for all of your info on international fashion, culture, and business from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Truly. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And if you want to hear more from me, messed that up. If you want to hear more from me, go ahead and check us out on IGTV, on The Casual, on Instagram. You know what it is. See you guys in a minute.